Hey guys, we come to you today with a new video of another tweener. This is the NetApp A800 all-flash array, and we've already reviewed it. Actually, it won an Editor's Choice Award from us last year, but we weren't doing as many videos back then, so this guy missed its video chance, and before it leaves, it called me and it said, "Hey, yo, how do I get a video?" And I said, "No problem, bro, we got you." The A800 is, as you can see, a 4U, 2-controller array, runs ONTAP just like the rest of the mainstream mid-market NetApp arrays do. And in our system we had, what do we have, 6, 12, plus another 12, 24 SSDs. These are the 1.92 terabyte class PM1723As from Samsung. Now NetApp has used Samsung drives in their arrays for a very long time. We've seen them in the 200, 300, in this, and then of course in some of their other systems. We've done a lot of work with their EF series as well, and very soon we hope to get some of their hyper-converged platforms in. Anyway, the really neat thing is that these are PCIe Gen 3 NVMe SSDs. And while by today's standards that may not be so unique, when NetApp started with this system last year, that was very unique. And not just having NVMe drives in the front, but also supporting NVMe out the back. And not just supporting NVMe out the back, but NVMe over Fibre Channel, NVMe over Ethernet. You could also do regular Fibre Channel. You can do pretty much anything out of the back of this box, and you can do it all at the same time. So depending on what workloads you have, you could configure this for really traditional Fibre Channel storage, or you could do over fabrics if you wanted the really high performance. And in terms of performance, what that means is standard Fibre Channel performance on this, we saw something like 1.2 million IOPS and almost 19 gigabytes per second. In our workloads, when we went to over fabrics, those numbers went up well over 2 million IOPS and 25, 26 gigabytes per second on the big block sequential. And that wasn't even all of what this can do. That was what we could do with the testing environment that we had at the time. If you brought in more servers, we could have got more performance out of this box. So while the A300 had some NVMe support on the back end, this guy was the first system in the ONTAP line to bring NVMe all the way through, which should be really exciting to see what comes out next. I don't know if it's an A900 or probably a 1000 to make it sound more grandiose later this year or whenever it happens. We don't really know anything super private yet, and if I did, I hopefully wouldn't slip up on a video like this and tell you, but they're clearly going to have something, and it should be really exciting to see what comes next. Again, we use the 2 terabyte drives in here. The 2 terabyte and 4 terabyte units are still the most popular in the NetApp systems, so that's super common. They do support 15 terabyte drives in this system, or at least they did at launch. They might even support 30s now. I don't have the details on that, but if you think about 2 rows of drives at 15 terabytes each with data reduction on, you could get a sick amount of capacity and performance out of this 2-controller system. So we're not going to take it out and put it on the tray and spin it around like usual because it's big and it's heavy. In fact, the little sticker shows 4 men holding this thing, and I am but one man. Kevin's over in the corner, that's 2. We don't have the 4 men required to lift this. It says it's heavier than 55 kilograms. What is that, a good-sized kangaroo? I don't even know. So we're gonna just pull a controller out of the back, we'll put that on the tray and take a deeper dive look at this. All right, so we've pulled one of the controllers out of the back of the system, and while we do have plenty of space behind the rack, this is a little bit of a longer controller. So while getting it out, Kevin almost pinned himself to death in the lab. So we almost lost Kevin, but it's okay. We saved the controller, and paramedics will take care of Kevin. He'll be fine. Looking at it as we go kind of front to back, of course, on this side will be your connectors into the drives in the front. Series of fans, it says 10 on the sticker, which must be true. They are easy to pull out and remove. Which is useful because they're going to suck all that nice cool air over the front of the drives, shoot it out the back of the system. This is pretty interesting. So we lift up this little door and there's the battery backup unit. hold that thought for just a second while we go ahead and open up this guy to help force the air over the variety of heat sinks and CPUs. So clearly there's a lot of RAM in here. These are 32 gig modules, but what's really interesting, if you notice the black tabs on this one and on this one, those are Micron NVDIMM units. So before, as we think about the benefits of having the inbuilt battery, that's going to help those hold up power so that when data's in flight and the system has an unexpected power loss, that battery can flush those the RAM into the NVDIMMs and everything's cool. Again, the CPUs, and then we've got our modular I/O connectivity in the back. So these slide, this one's a little harder, oh, backwards, okay. Slide forward and release. Well, this guy has got quad 10 gig and 200 gig connectivity ports. And again, these all connect here. There's a little group where it sits in and a little cluster. So those drop in there. Let's release this guy and keep looking at what we've got. Pop this one out, and we've got, here we've got our quad 32 gig fiber and 25 gig ports. So that's another connectivity option for you. And we'll go ahead and yank this one out too, just for fun. And here we've got, oh, I might have pulled it, there we go. It has little connector pins that you've got to lift up. Here we've got two more 100 gig ports. So in all, we're talking about a broad series of connectivity, which we talked about before. This board here powers two more 100 gig ports on the bottom. These guys are going to go to your management ports, USB and management over gigabit. Continuing around the back, we've got this little block for power supplies. Each controller has redundant power supplies. Let's just slide one of these out. And we've got twin 1,000-watt power supplies. So that'll provide all the power. Again, these are two per controller. This is just one of the two controllers in the 4U enclosure. But overall, we see a board that's well constructed with plenty of RAM, the NVDIMMs, the battery backup unit, 10 fans. It's really well put together. We showed you all the I/O modules that are available in this thing. There's actually probably many more available. Our configuration was Fibre Channel heavy, but again, we did have some 100 gig and 25 gig on board for data, in addition to the 100 gig ports for connectivity between the controllers. But overall, we got great Fibre Channel performance. We got great NVMe over fiber performance. You'll get all the same great performance over Ethernet protocols as well. So we had a great time with the A800. That's why we gave it an editor's choice. It's a great platform. NetApp has been just absolutely killing it with the whole ONTAP series. And that's not even to discount the EF. You know, that's outside the scope of this conversation, but the EF is a great sort of no-frills performance platform for flash, or a high-capacity platform for disk. And of course, NetApp has the whole HCI, disaggregated HCI portfolio, and we'll be hopefully working with those soon. Until then, though, thanks for joining us on this, not unboxing and not quite a reboxing, but an exploration of the A800 before we send it back to NetApp, with hopefully most of the pieces intact and most of the cables it came with, or at least some of them. But until next time, thanks.